this session. We are getting ready here for this GloBUNTU session, and my dear Beatrice is here. She's a powerful lady doing amazing work, supporting children. Let me know when your team is ready to join here. If they're here and you can hear us, the students and your people, if they're here, just go to the yes.
So my co-facilitators, let's see my co-facilitators. Ali, are you here? Naledi? Shimangi, are you here? Chegofatso, show up. Please type on the chat forum. Give us a sign. Let's see you so we can let you on the screen.
Yes,
you're my co-facilitators.
that's true. And
so
I'm so glad that you made time. Once, just to give you a little bit of housekeeping here on this workshop, all you need to do is to make sure, if you want to see the presentation, if you want to see Beatrice much larger, you just have to double click on her screen and enlarge it, and you'll be able to see if she's going to share some workshop. She's going to double click and it's going to be wider, and you'll be able to see her as well. So that's something that I want to make sure that you're all aware, and we have the chat. Keep it engaging. Let us know where you're listening from so that we can catch up with you as well. And the other part that I would also want to get you more engaged is that if you're the one coming here, your facilitators, the youth, you'll see a blue button on top of your screen. Just click it and activate your camera and your video. Then you'll be here to be accepted in the group. So welcome, Beatrice. I'm so happy you made time from South Africa, doing amazing work. We know you also from here in Europe, because you've been here, a powerful lady in politics, and you were so grateful to see in Austria, doing amazing one, representing women, of course. And now you're in the industry of the book. And if you want to see all her work, she will share with you her website as well. And she is also very active with very prominent people. And if you're thinking of writing books, she's a lady to go for. But her main part is working with the youth, young people like you who are joining here from 5 to 50. She wants to mold you to make sure that you understand the African history, and also how to bring you in the writing industry and all these activities. So let me not talk too much. Give you the stage. I'll be in the background checking on you, and also checking whether your guests are here so that I can give them permission to be able to access them here. So yeah, let me hand it over to you. Welcome. Let me know whether if we can hear you as well before I go.
Thank you so much, Joy. Thank you. What a pleasure. Congratulations on this huge summit. African women in Europe, you have a powerful woman here putting this event together and rallying African women, not just in Europe, but for across the globe. So congratulations, Joy, for this wonderful initiative. It is a pleasure. It is an honor to be here, and all the way from South Africa. And yes, Europe and Europe has been home to me for 20 years. But now I'm back on the continent, and as you rightly said, my passion, my biggest passion, is making sure that every Black child become a published author. I know and I believe and I have evidence that every Black child can write a book, and I think they should. And our mission here today, you and I and my co-facilitators, who are some of our young authors, is to motivate, is to encourage, is to support, is to guide any parents who is out here with their children and is ready to write their story. Even if you're not ready, if you're doubting, it's fine if you're here, because our job is to show you that it is possible, because it really is possible. And writing a book and having it published is one of the best investments that you can make on your child, because it is a lifelong legacy, a blueprint lifelong legacy that is indelible. So I'm so looking forward to seeing which young kids are here and how we can take them forward and help them to write and publish their books.
Hi,
young author.
Good, and you?
Hello, Shimangi. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I can hear you. How are you doing this morning? Okay, thank you for joining the workshop as my co-facilitator. Let's see who are our participants. Is Ali coming in? It's Nalezi coming in.
Ali's on her way.
All our those of our young authors who are here. We have 12 already, Joy. We have 12 young authors, and the number is growing. We have 4 in the pipeline. So by the end of the year, we should be getting to 20. And our mission is to make sure that by the end of 2021, that we have up to 50 Black young authors. Whether you're based in Europe, you're based in Asia, you're based in America, in Australia, or on the continent, it doesn't matter which country you are. These classes are virtual, so we want to groom young Black authors because that's how you put your blueprint in the world. You know, it will always be there. So I'm happy that Chimangi is here. She will share her experiences with the masterclass. If we have any young participants out there, if you're ready to write your book, if your parents out there and you're in the background, please come to the front. Let's hear you. Let's see. Let's know who your child is. Let's know how we can, so we know how to help. Okay, Wambri is here. Hello, Wambri. Welcome to the room. We see you. Welcome. We're here. Please tell us a little bit about you, whether you're a parent, whether you are, you must be a parent.
Yeah, I'm just showing my face because I'm going to different sessions, so it's brilliant. Thank you. Welcome, Beatrice.
Okay, good to see you. Greetings from South Africa. So I have my young author, one of my young authors here co-facilitating with me, that's Chimangato from Cape Town. And
I'm joining from United Kingdom. So yeah,
from the UK. Okay,
I'm from UK, but originally from Kenya. Yes, so I work closely with Joy as a co-founder, administrator.
Oh yes, I've seen the name. Congratulations. You're doing an amazing job with African women in Europe.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us and taking the time to join us. And thank you for your moderator there. Thank you. So we look forward to hearing from you about your creative writing for kids.
Yes, now you have unmuted. Yeah, good. Yeah, go ahead, introduce yourself.
I'm Chimangato Apezuechikosi, and I'm a young upcoming GloBUNTU author. I am writing the book, Homeschooling, What the Heck Is That? And it's basically a book about how my parents have homeschooled my two younger sisters. Yes. And I am currently 16 years old.
You're 16 years old, wow.
Yep.
And you live in South Africa?
Yes, South Africa.
Okay. So is writing your passion? Is that what you want to do?
Not really, but I do like it though.
You do like writing? Okay.
Yeah.
So what kind of writings do you normally do?
Creative writing, like storytelling kind of stuff.
Storytelling. And you've got some stories that you're going to share with us that you have done?
Nope, I don't have stories that I've written for today.
Okay. All right. But if so at some point, hopefully you'll be able to share your creative writing to us, which will be great. So Beatrice has joined us. Can you hear us, Beatrice, now?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, so cool. Chimangi, I see you've been introducing yourself. Yes, Wambui, I would love for her to tell us a little bit about her book, the writing process. I think we don't want to give away too much about her book. We're about to publish the book, but just give us a few lines, Chimangi, about your book and your experience with the writing process.
Okay. My book, well, it's a book about homeschooling and how my parents have homeschooled my two younger sisters, basically. And the writing process, I would say it was fairly hard at first, but then closer to the end, it got easier because I got into the flow of writing the book.
Okay. So how long did it take you to write your book?
2 months-ish. Kind of 1 month, actually.
I think
1 month.
We got you in the masterclass in August, and before the beginning of September, you sent in your manuscript. So we had a 4-week masterclass, and I think immediately after that, you submitted the first draft of your manuscript.
Brilliant.
Shimangi, what does becoming a young author mean to you? What does it mean to you? How is it? How do you think it's going to influence you, your life from now onwards?
Well, becoming a young author, it means like creating a legacy and having my voice out there. Yeah.
Writing your legacy.
Okay.
I love that.
Let me just pick up the essence of this workshop and just bring in some input, and then we'll see how we can get them in. Okay.
Okay.
So the reason why we put up this workshop is because, you know, as parents, we know that we juggle a whole lot, especially now during the lockdown, juggling a whole lot to make life happen, juggling to work from home, trying to educate our children from home and all of that. And in the middle of that, our children are going through a whole lot. And some of the things that they're going through, we don't get to talk about them. And I have the experience that when kids learn how to express themselves in writing, it can be so important. It can be liberating. It is therapeutic. It helps them to gain self-confidence. It helps them to release some of the baggage that they may be carrying in them. And we all know that as Black people, as Black parents, that we have a lot of negativity around us. You know, our history has been written to be filled with negativity. And that negativity sometimes, quite often, doesn't really reflect who we are. And what we hear about Africa and African people in the media and in public opinion is generally very negative. So our children grow up in the space of this negativity, and some of the experiences that they make, they are stored in their subconscious mind and influence who they become in life. And until they have the space to liberate this, you know, to let go of this baggage, to sort it out, and to affirm themselves to greatness, it may be really difficult for them to catch up in life. You know, they may be successful, but they will not be as successful as they could be if they gain the knowledge of who they truly are. And as a mom of two kids, I have two teenage kids, 17 and 18. I know what challenges, they were born and raised in Europe. I know the challenges of Black kids growing up in Europe. You know, the challenges with identity. Who am I? Where do I belong? My parents come from a different culture. I'm being born and educated or raised in a different culture, and the school system in that culture doesn't really know much about my history. The questions that they have along the way, you know, do you come from Africa? Do you have food in Africa? Do you sleep on trees in Africa? And all of those things. And quite often, these same kids are exposed to a lot of racism, a lot of discrimination. Sometimes they're exposed to mobbing at school. We call it here bullying. And all of those experiences, our kids internalize them. And finding a way to air them, to bring them out, one of the main, the outlet that really helps transform whatever they may be going through their life or they have gone through life into a positive way is through writing. So as I call it, how to transform your breakdown, something that looks like your breakdown, into a breakthrough that is collective because it helps others. Now, one of my young authors, my very first young author, wrote a book called, the title is How I Successfully Dealt with the Death of My Brother, Wage Challenges and Bullying at School. And when this young girl, she was 10 when she started writing, she just lost her elder brother who was shot down. Cheho should have been here. I don't know why she's not here. She may be having challenges joining. So writing this book really helped her to find herself. It allowed her to grieve, to let her family know how she was being left out of the grief process. And this happens in families. When someone passes, we all go to condole with the adults in the family and we ignore the children. And the children have lost someone as well. So whatever children may be going through, expressing themselves in writing, having that space to express themselves is one of the best ways to release it, to find themselves, to redefine themselves and communicate with the world around them in a way that allows them to bounce forward in a positive way, knowing, you know, growing out of the experience into a better version of themselves. This is the experiences that I have with children. Of the 12 young authors that I have, I was surprised that many of them have been bullied at school. They're writing about bullying. But the most surprising thing for me was that their parents did not even know. They are at home with these children And they don't know that the children are being bullied, not because they don't care, but probably because they're so busy with other things. And also because the children do not have that, are not encouraged to speak about them. Some children do not want to add more troubles to their parents because they know how much their parents are juggling. So they tend to want to deal with this by themselves. And because they're struggling to deal with this, it affects their school performances. It affects their personal growth. It affects their personality. It affects, the way they look at the world around them, and it affects the decisions that they make or not make. So this is the childhood. A child should have a good childhood. They should be able to be who they are. They should feel safe. They should feel cared for. They should feel nurtured. They should grow to become, a better version of them. And if this is not around, because the family is dealing with certain things, or because the kids are dealing with certain things, or because the school is not giving them the knowledge and the information that they need in order to be themselves, proud, to have a proud sense of self, a sense of self-worth, a sense of identity, a sense of belonging, and a sense of appreciation, it may really become difficult for these children to grow up. And if they carry this baggage in them, it takes them into their adulthood. It affects who they become in the workplace. It affects who they become as a citizen. It affects who they become as parents and even grandparents. And this is how we have some of this generational negativity, systems that really keeps us down, from being our best selves. And I had to come around this knowledge after 46. I stayed in Europe for 20 years, and at 46, I decided to move back to Africa and to start asking myself the question: who are you? What were you born for? What were you brought into this world for? What is your gift? What is your gift, and how can you serve the world with that gift? So the essence of this workshop is to help parents to say, you may be busy, you may not be able to do this. You may be too close to your children to be able to do this work with them. So we offer master classes, and these master classes take kids from where they are. And again, believe me, Wambui, I know that every Black child has a story. I know that every Black child can write the story. Absolutely. Because that's my job, to help them write. And once they write, they are transformed for life. They are transformed. Because just imagine a child that has been bullied, a child that has not been talking, all of a sudden, he or she has a new title, young author. And when they go somewhere, they're reintroducing themselves to the world. My name is Wambui, I'm a young author. And all around them, the conversation changes. They don't say, what is your experience with racism? They don't say, where do you come from? Are you going back to Africa? They don't say those things. They say, oh, you wrote a book. What is your book about? Where can I get your book? Tell me about your book. You see how the conversation changes just because this child has a new title. And for Black children, quite a number of them do not believe that, they're good enough. They do not believe that they have this talent. So when they write a book, this gives them the ultimate permission to reintroduce themselves. And the world can't ignore them anymore. You can't ignore them because the book is there. They are
what
authors.
An achievement.
It's a transformation. It is a transformation, and it is one that affects the whole family. Okay, because I have parents of my young authors here. Now, they don't introduce themselves with their names. They say, I am a parent of a young author, a GloBUNTU young author. I am the mom of a GloBUNTU award-winning young authors, because some of my authors have won awards. So, and the family is encouraged to be part of this writing process, because sometimes they write the prefaces or the forewords in the books. I go to schools and ask the principals, oh, Ali is here. That's our other next young author. I go to schools and ask the principals to write forewords in the books, so the whole school knows that this child is an author. Yes. You see how the transformation works. So this is why we're having this workshop, just to sensitize on the importance of helping our children to write and have their own books published.
Okay, so Beatrice, we've got 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us, Ali Zuli. Yeah. Can you hear us? Unmute yourself. Yes, you can hear us. Brilliant. Good to hear. You're looking lovely. So tell us a little bit about yourself. We've got 10 minutes remaining. So tell us something about yourself and why writing.
Hello, my name is Beatrice Achaleke, and I am 13 years old. I am writing a book, and the book is about financial literacy in South Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Financial
Literacy.
Wow. At your age, that is amazing. That is inspiring. How old are you?
I'm 13.
You're 13. Wow. And I can see Naledzi has joined us. Hello, Naledzi. Love your hair. Love your hair. Looks really nice. And how old are you?
I'm 10.
You're 10 years old. And you love writing as well?
Yeah.
You write. So what are you writing about?
I'm writing about short stories about cooking.
Short stories about cooking. Can you give me one recipe? A short one? Nachos. Okay.
Yum. Yes.
Yum, yum.
So you need nacho chips of any kind.
Yes.
Crackers also work.
Yeah.
And then you need cheese, dried herbs,
Yes.
salt.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of salt. And also you can add onion, but it's optional. You don't have to add onion. The onion is just for the spice. I also like to add chili peppers.
Wow.
And then you put the nachos on a plate, and then you sprinkle the mix that you've just made on top, and you microwave it for about 30 seconds. It depends on the microwave you have. I usually just go to 30 seconds or until the cheese is melted. And then once the cheese is melted, you got delicious gooey nachos.
Oh, sounds yummy. And you're actually writing small books on the recipes. You're writing you're writing recipe books. That's amazing. At how old are you again?
10.
You're
love
10
cooking.
years old. And you love cooking. That's amazing. Wow. So, Ali Zulu, tell us a little bit about your fight. Sorry, tell me how I should say your name. I'm sorry. I might get it.
Ali Zuri.
Ali Zuri.
Yeah.
Ali Zuri.
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. I got that one right. So tell us a little bit about your book.
So basically, the story is about a guy who moves from like the rural parts of South Africa in Durban, in KwaZulu-Natal, and then he comes to like the suburbs in Cape Town, and how he acts irrational with his money, and it does lead to his downfall in the end of the book.
Wow. And that is, are you writing for the young to understand the importance of finance?
I wasn't sure who I was writing for when I wrote the book. I just wrote the story that came to mind.
Yeah, wow. That is really good, because I can assure you that very few people, especially your age, even think about finance or even anything about financial matters. So you're definitely on the right path. Definitely that's a winner as far as I can see. Beatrice is still trying to, is Beatrice helping you with that? Putting it all together?
No, it's finished. It's just editing.
She's editing it. So that's brilliant. So Beatrice is really struggling to get onto the link, but she'll be with us. So I was just telling Shimagadzo, is that how you say your name?
Yes.
Shimagadzo, okay. At least I got that one right. I was telling her about African women in Europe. We've had like 12 women who've written little chapters about their journey in Europe, from Africa to Europe. And in there, we've got a South African lady called, I've forgotten her name, but she's from South Africa in Johannesburg. She did her PhD. She did her PhD on African women in Europe. And I think she's a lecturer now in South Africa, Johannesburg. but she really brought she really made it quite clear how important it is that writing your journey is, whether it is about finance, whether it is about your journey in life, whether it is about inspiring someone else or about your career, it is all very important. So I myself am an engineer. I am an engineer. I work as an engineer in the construction industry. I have been writing, I go to schools, girls' schools, and I talk to the girls about the importance of doing the science subjects, but also to be open, to have an open mind about careers. So the work that I do, I am surrounded by men, and you don't see that many women and girls looking for work where there's a lot of men in the construction industry or engineering departments. But we need to open doors to those kind of and bring awareness that there's a lot of money there being paid to the men, and we need our girls to be part of that paycheck. You know, the paycheck.
Yeah.
We need to be part of that paycheck. So we are happy, and I feel very inspired when I go to some of these schools and I talk to them about my work, that I wear a helmet, I wear my big yellow jacket and yellow trousers and my steel-toed shoes. Have you seen, if you know how a construction person looks or what they wear? So sometimes I go to the girls' schools and I'm dressed up like that. But then inside, then I tell them, but I'm still me. So I remove my nice, beautiful office wear. So you can work in any area. You can, if you want to be a writer, that is a very you've got a creative mind. And you can make that, if you're a creative person, writing is one of those things that you won't miss because your mind is running all the time on what can I add? What am I observing about somebody? What am I observing about finance? What am I observing about cooking? So Beatrice is still trying to join us as she's one of the one helping with editing. Would have been good to hear more from her. But let me just try and reach out to her. Okay, she can hear us.
I can hear you, and if you can hear me, I don't know, something is happening with my camera, but
yes.
I will just go ahead.
Please go ahead.
So
we can all hear you. So the girls have introduced themselves. They have told me what they do.
Okay.
And which is brilliant. So Naledzi has told me about her cookery, her passion for cookery. Yes. And she's writing recipes for cookery. And she's given me one recipe of nachos, which I could even taste the beautiful taste. Shimago, and Alizuri has also talked about her book on finance. So maybe you can add onto that, Beatrice.
When our kids write, it's amazing what they write about. It's amazing how much we can learn from them. And when you see Ali, she's 12 years old, 13, and she's writing about finances. She knows about the struggles of young people when they leave, when we move to towns and we start earning our first money, what happens, some of the challenges. I mean, these are huge lessons coming from young kids. Chimangadzo is talking about homeschooling, and quite a lot of people don't know what homeschooling is all about. A lot of people have had to homeschool their children during this lockdown. And I think coming from someone who experiences it firsthand, it's a very, very good story for not just for kids, but also for adults. Nalezi loves cooking, and in the kitchen, we're experiencing all her adventures. They are great adventures, and within those cooking adventures, there are quite a lot of lessons that she's learning along the line.
Beatrice, have you got somebody with a computer next to you? It's echoing.
No, I'm alone here. There's no other device next to me.
Okay, so the session is now finished, but you can maybe summarize it, because now we need a networking platform.
So I just want to So thank you for giving us the platform. Thank you to the young authors for joining us. Anyone who joined and who is interested in writing books for children, master classes for children, please talk to Joy. Talk to Joy, and Joy will connect. We want to set up the pace to have Black kids in Europe or wherever they are to write their books. And we're having a partnership with Abwe. And so talk to Wambwe or talk to Joy if you have your children and you're interested. If you're a mom, if you're a parent and you want to write your story and you think your story is very important, please talk to Joy, talk to Wambwe, and they will come back to me and we'll set up a master class for you or for you and your children or just for the children. So this is what we want to do because we believe in the power of stories.
Thank you so much, Beatrice. And I'm absolutely inspired by the work that you're doing, the fact that you left the Western world and moved back to South Africa to inspire and bring awareness about creative writing. So we can't thank you enough. And yes, we need to partner, we need to have workshops and bring our young creative minds together. And so this is the end of this session. And maybe, yes, I can see you have put in the link to your website, www.GloBUNTUBooks.com. Do you have a Facebook page, Beatrice? Do you have a Facebook page? Okay, but at least we have got the website, www.GloBUNTUBooks.com. So thank you very much, our young creative writers, Alizuri, Naledzi, Shimagadzo. I really appreciate you being here with us. I have unmuted you now, but thank you so much for joining us. If you go to the next session, there's a session called networking. Can you see that on your screen?
Yes.
Go in there and we can carry on chatting, because this here is our recording version that people can see live. Okay, see you in a minute.